What's going on? What's going on, people? What's going on? Let me go check over here and make sure that I am live in the place to be. Let me hit the thing here. Let me hit the thing here. Am I live? Am I live? We got to make sure here. Go on the phone here. We want to make sure. Welcome to, because we're trying something totally different today. Welcome to Pontiac DM3 WYAC Social Media Radio. Number one on your DM dial. Oh, we ready. Hold on. We ready. All right. Okay. Let's make sure. Let me go ahead and let me hit the share button. So we're going to talk a little bit today about a couple things. We're going to be waiting for Martell Taylor to pop in here. I'm going to go ahead and hit the share button, and we're going to talk about a couple of things in the place to be. So as you know what I mean, we had the, let me turn my mic up just a tad bit. We had the debate going on yesterday, and it was quite interesting. You know what I'm saying? It was a quite interesting scene. So, today we're going to talk about that. And, it might be some things that we might want to go ahead and discuss because we never know. I'm hearing that Big Gretch has been talked to about coming in and possibly that is, might be that person that's coming in and want to take the reins. That's what they say. Now that I don't know for sure. But I want to go ahead and get y'all opinion on it because, as we wanted, this is what WYAC is all about. And then we're going to be talking also about Bronny James. I think, man, what can I say about what's happening with the James household? It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely wonderful. Absolutely amazing. But I want to know, is Bronny ready for the NBA? And those big shoes that he has to fill, those big shoes that he has to come in and do. I know he's not a whole lot is probably not going to be asked of Bronny right off the bat. A whole lot probably is not going to be asked of that young man right off the bat. But we will see. But first things first, we're going to talk about tonight. Let's go ahead and hit the share button. I love to hit the share button. So give me a moment while I hit the share button. We're going to go ahead and share the groups as we wait for our guests to come in. Hopefully I get my man from Los Angeles, Kyrie Crump, come in. And we got Marty Marr from ATL. And maybe he can talk a little bit also about what he got going on down there. But I want to go ahead and discuss the debate and where we are with that. You know what I'm saying? So let me go ahead. Let me hit I want to go ahead and share it to a couple of podcast forums. I sent you guys the links. Y'all come on in. Here we go. I got a couple of podcasts, groups that I'm available in. But I'm going to give you my guys, I'm going to give you my opinion on how I feel about this situation until my guys come in. First of all, I'd like to go ahead and apologize. We were supposed to start at 8:00, but I felt 8:30 was a better time to come in. And we're going to be opening up the phone line so you can go ahead and give us a call. And even if you want to go ahead and join us, you can join us right here, right now, on deck. You know what I mean? You can join us just like how you see me on here. I send you the link and you can go ahead and say, other than that, you can have your comments and we can go ahead and do it like that. Miss Mary Kay, what's happening? Happy Friday evening to you on the YouTube, you know what I'm saying? So right now we streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on LinkedIn. I like to go ahead and deal with LinkedIn a little bit. So thank you for popping in. But last night was something. Let's listen to what these guys got to say. I really want you guys to hear it, and we're gonna go from here, and we're gonna see what we talking about.
Right to the biggest moments tonight, and we've got to start right here. Some voters have expressed concern about President Biden's age and his ability to keep focus tonight.
So this is what we talking about.
The president seemed to lose his train of thought, including in his answer early in the debate to a question about the economy.
I sure will. I'll put the number up in 1 second.
we'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with
Joe.
with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Oh my God. All right. So,
but that was not always the tenor of the debate.
Okay, let's go ahead and turn that down. That's where we at with that. Okay. Now, I know a lot of people love Joe. You know what I mean? I really don't got nothing big and huge against Joe. Let me turn the music back up a little bit. But Joe on his way out, y'all. When I don't mean it like that morbidly, but Joe on his way out. Joe is going to get replaced. Okay. And that's just really what it's going to be. Joe is going to get replaced. And that's really what the topic of conversation, because I really wasn't even coming live tonight, but I got a whole new setup. As y'all see, I got it all broadcasty looking like. And so I wanted to come in and share the platform and, bring the number up also where people can call in. So here you go. Also, fast call in hotline is 248-905-1128. Fast call hotline is 248-905-1128. If you can call in, you can leave your comments to maybe 2 to 3 minutes. Or if you have the VIP pass, which Nakia Wins has the VIP pass. She has won, and she has won the VIP pass because basically, in a nutshell, she won the big wheel before we started. She spun the wheel, the YAC big wheel, and she won extra time on the phone call. So that's how we can do it. If you want more time, we can spin the wheel and give you more time. You know what I'm saying? That's how we gonna do it. And then if you guys want to debate and you got a great point, we can go ahead and have a great point debate and talk about it and get your point across. So we here for the people and how this whole election, this whole thing affects basically us as a unit, not only here in Pontiac, the metro area, but all over. So let's get to it, you guys. Number one, Martell, if you're watching, listening, go ahead and log on. You need Chrome. If you're on your phone, if you're on your computer, use Chrome. In my opinion, I knew Joe was kind of losing it for a while now, as far as his cognitive skills. You know what I mean? I knew they were declining. We seen it over the last couple of years. Really, I kind of went back and looked at the debate from 4 years ago, and I saw how far his cognition had failed. You know what I mean? And I could tell that he wasn't going to do good in this debate, especially when I knew that he was going to get more or less a week to prepare. And when that week, I never heard of a week preparation, and I never heard of a debate happening this quick in the election cycle. Usually don't really kind of go like that. So I felt in my heart that when they came out with this way of doing things, that they were going to go ahead and see where he was at, as far as mentally, physically. And if he couldn't perform good last night, hold on, we got Martell coming on in the building. 1 second here.
Sound like being on video?
Well, I thought you knew that, bro.
No, I thought it was all audio. It's all good though.
Well, people, we'd like to go ahead and welcome Martell Taylor all the way from the ATL. You know what I'm saying? He got some ideas, about what happened last night and his thought process. Me and him agree in a way, and in some ways we don't. You know what I'm saying?
Really.
So
Not really. Not really, we don't, but okay.
So, Mark, you know what I'm saying? As you see on the screen, you see your boy, don't you? Everybody, I want to go ahead and welcome you to go ahead. Martell Taylor, native of Pontiac, Michigan, you know what I'm saying? Becoming a world-renowned, famous, he's a playwright. He's a director. He's a lot more other titles that I really probably don't know too much about. But, yeah, he can tell you more about himself. But
I'm joking.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
but we spread across 4 platforms today. But yeah, bro. I mean, bro, what you think about this junk, man? Like, hey, bro,
So what we talking about? Tell me what we talking about
you
first.
see what we talking about? You see it on the screen. We talking
Oh,
about
I ain't
basic. Well, number one. I'm hearing that Gretchen Whitmer was brought to the conversation of actually probably replacing him. What you think about that pick if she decided to do that, and then what you think about the performance, or vice versa? How you want to answer that?
Well, let me go. Let me go with the performance first. Let me go with the performance first. We've talked off the record. Before we came on here, we all know it wasn't the best performance.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? We
right.
talking about from Biden's, well, from both of their standpoint.
Hmm.
Neither one of them did great.
Right.
Now we just want to say, of course, Biden was off. You know, delivery was off, speech was off. Um, but if you listen to what he's saying, why you laughing, man?
No, I'm just laughing at the comment. If you see what Kia wrote, she's
Man, ain't nobody paying kid no attention. We text all night last night about this.
go ahead. I'm
Uh,
listening.
he was off. I mean, he's old. You know what I'm saying? Just being for real. Like, if you listen to what he said, the man no policy. The man no politics. He's been in politics pretty much all his life. But his
Hmm.
delivery, of course, delivery was slow. I don't necessarily feel like he should be the president for the next 4 years. I don't think he has the ability to be the president health wise for the next 4 years.
Okay.
That was my thing on him. As far as the other dude, I don't even like to say his name. That's your homeboy. That's your
Hey,
home.
you better get used to saying his name. He gonna be the president though. But I mean,
I don't like. I don't like to say his name.
right.
With that being said, I mean everything he said, man. Like he didn't answer any questions. For real. He never answered any questions. This is just my opinion.
Yeah.
From my opinion, and others, he didn't answer any questions that was asked. I mean, he skated around like each answer.
Hmm.
Uh, brother lied a lot. So I guess at the end of the day, what it comes down to is you want a convicted felon that's a liar, that's healthy, that's a little healthier. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? A little
Hmm.
bit more juice, or you want a guy that sometimes he could you know seem like he didn't even know where he was at.
I mean,
But he
okay.
understand, but he understand, policy, and what's going on in the world. So I mean, again, man, the way I look at it. I mean, it's kind of sad that we got to vote for either one of them when you really think about it.
Well, I mean, yeah, it is sad. I mean, bro, at the end of the day, I think it is a bad thing that these are the best two candidates that you can really come muster up with. You know what I
Absolutely,
mean?
absolutely.
So now that we got these two candidates, and I know me and you talked earlier, I don't want to have a spoiler alert, but to me, I'm coming across that you would rather have, and this is most people, I'm I'm biased, okay? My scales is tilted, right? You
Yeah,
would
I
rather
agree.
have a you'd rather
I,
have a feeble.
I'm sorry, I ain't mean to interrupt. I just read Gil's
Oh,
comment.
let me put them
Yeah,
up.
yeah, and I agree with Gil just said.
Oh, let me put them up. What
The
he
fact
say?
that these are the choices is very concerning. Like seriously, very concerning.
So I'm gonna put the phone number up too, guys. Guys can call Gil if you would like to come in. I got your email. I can send you the link. If you would like to come in, just let me know. I can send you the link. Um, so you would rather have a more or less a feeble Joe Biden than quote unquote, you know what I'm saying, healthy or cognizant person.
Yeah, but it goes back to what I was telling you. You got to remember that in politics, even with the presidency, as even though it's like the highest honor in the United States, they say all the time the president is just literally it's a what they want to say. There's so many people under the president, no matter who it is. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Cabinet, Congress. So the president is a figurehead. So we
Right.
all know from a health standpoint, if, this man had to get up and do the job, 24 hours a day. Nah, that ain't what we need.
Right.
But with the right cabinet, with the right Congress, with the right supporters, absolutely, I'd rather vote for him than vote for a convicted criminal, a
Okay.
felon.
Okay.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So you know what? We about to go into this segment right here, dude. This is a new segment that I'm coming in with, and I'm about to switch the screen, bro. And the screen is called "Make Your Point." You see that?
Yeah, I see it.
Make your point. All right, I'm about to be the. This is like you remember back in the day, Bernie Smilovitz.
Man, what are you talking about, man?
Make your point. So make your
Right.
case. You know what I'm saying? Like make your point. If and I'm gonna make my point. Versus, I don't think number one. I'm gonna go since you the guest. I'm gonna go first, and then I'm gonna give you last word.
Go ahead.
All right. Number one.
I kind of
I don't.
made my point already, but go
Okay,
ahead.
you made your point. I'm about to make my counterpoint, and you can go ahead and go back. Number one,
Okay.
I don't think that he's cognizant enough to go ahead and run anything. I don't believe that. Um, Number one, I don't really like both in a huge way, but I don't like the way that the border is really wide open up under him. What was the reason for him opening up the border like it is, and it's affecting all types of benefits that American citizens, especially people that look like me and you, are really totally affected by it. Like, why is that happening? Why all of a sudden did the borders be let open? I'm thinking that the borders were let open just because to actually bring people in to actually get votes. That was one of the things that I was really thinking, to try to fast track these people to be citizens in order to go ahead and garner voice for them. What you think about that?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because again, I'll tell anybody I'm not about to sit on this live and tell everybody I know everything about all the policies, everything about politics. I ain't into politics like that. However, what you just brought up, bringing the border, so you do realize that when what was it, 45? I don't like to say. I don't even like to say his name. Um, but when he was in office, a lot of the promises he made regarding the border, they never came to fruition. So now you're blaming this next administration, this current administration, for things that the administration for number 45 never even completed and never did. So you can't do that. That's just like when you start talking about the budget and the deficit. I
Mm.
remember how people used to talk about the deficit when Barack Obama was in place. It was like, oh man, he didn't fix the budget, or the budget is this, the budget is that, the deficit is this, the deficit is that. You think a man could go in 8 years and turn around something that's been going on for 20 years, 30 years? So we can't fault an individual that's in office because the previous administration or administrations didn't do everything that they said they was going to do. The man been in office 3.5 years.
Okay, but I mean, to turn back the hands of times when it comes to the border control, though, that's something that a president, far as I understand, doesn't need like congressional power or permission to do. You know what I'm saying? Like they can go ahead and say, you know what, we want to lock down because the president's duty is to protect the borders, to protect the citizens. So they don't need, permission to lock down the border. Why do you feel like he opened that up? And do you think that was a good idea? And do you think that's a
You,
that's
you
that's
keep
that's
it, you keep
justification? Huh?
you keep saying opened up. When was it? When was it closed totally? You keep saying
No, no, I'm
opened
talking
it up.
about for illegal immigration. We got like over a little bit over 15 million illegal immigrants here.
Yeah, but you think that happened in the last 3.5 years? Is
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah, it
asking.
did. It did.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. I mean, it's proven. You know what I'm saying? But
All
I
right.
mean, do you feel like that's grounds of you know what I mean to be of being a good president? I'm just
I mean, you're bringing up one. I like this because this point counterpoint. Um, you're bringing up literally like you're talking about one thing that I guess you're saying has happened under his watch, right?
right.
Bringing up that idea, right? Am I correct?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but in every presidency since I've been born and doing research, There's no perfect president. There's no president has done every single thing that they've said that they was going to do.
Mhm.
None. So you can't pick and choose because a certain policy didn't happen or something that they got in front of the world and said they were going to do if you voted them in. So let me ask you this, so you can answer this question for the people. I know you the host, but let me ask you this.
Hmm.
Because you and I talked on the record, so I want you to be able to put it on the record, while people are listening. Why would you vote for Trump?
If I was to vote, I'm like, and I know we tease and we joke and we play. I don't know who I would really vote for. To tell you the truth, for real, for real. But if I was to vote today, if I had to vote today, if election was today, it wouldn't be Joe Biden. And the reason why I believe that it wouldn't be is because um, just because one of the things is the immigration law, or the immigration that's happening right now. Um, that'd be really one of my main focal points. The other would be that I do feel fiscally, you know what I mean. Before COVID
Mhm.
happened, things were a little bit better. Things weren't as tight as they were now. Now I know that COVID drained a lot, drained a lot of funds from the federal government. It took a toll on everybody. But I do think that fiscally, before COVID happened, um, things were a little bit stable. And I understand that when it comes to race, and people say that Trump doesn't um, is racist. I feel like honestly, both of them guys are they pretty much have that bone in their body. But I'm trying to think of also foreign policy. Also, I think we talked about that too with foreign policy. I think foreign policy, from what I know, things were a little bit more settled when it
So
came
let me
to.
ask you this. So let
Mm.
me ask you this. Sorry to interrupt you, but let
No,
me
you
ask you
fine.
this. Why do you feel? I feel like you're talking from feelings. Um, you said you feel as if both candidates are racist. That's what you just said. That was your words. You said I feel
I
like
feel
both.
like they both have a racist streak bone in their body. I mean, they both on the record. They both have proven that. I guess you know what I'm saying. As far as the verbiage that they both have said over years, so to me, I throw that out because they both kind of displayed that before. What I'm saying is all I can go by is when they were all in office. Fiscally, in my opinion, looking at things, because that's all we doing.
Fact.
We basing our judgment off of our opinion, how we feel, and
So
off the
okay, so
facts that we feel are
okay,
true.
so let's talk. Okay, so let's talk about morale. Let's like first off, I want read what Gil just wrote because that's
The
exactly what
borders,
I
the,
said.
the
The
orders,
border's
the borders
always
been,
been open.
yeah, they've been open. But what I'm saying is, as far as the legal crossing, and this is one thing that people do forget, that when Barack Obama was very hard on illegal immigration. You know what I'm saying? And he sent people back that were here illegal. Why did Joe Biden open it up? Basically, the floodgates where people could just come in. People that's having problems in Texas, Chicago, New York, they're having big problems right now because of that. New gangs. It's only factual. You know what I mean? You know, we we can. I don't want to play semantics where we saying that the border. Yeah, the border's always been open. We not locked inside, but for illegal immigrants to come in that's not how
But
things
we,
supposed to go.
but we've always had illegal immigrants.
Yes, we have, but the doors haven't been open where they can just flood in like 15. Oh, I mean, like in the
So what
last
you're
2 years.
so, so
Go
what
ahead.
you're saying is you're not saying that we have that the issue that we have illegal immigrants in the country taking job I don't even say taking job, getting jobs and things of that nature,
Mhm.
um, getting taken care of and things of that nature. What you're saying is you're talking about the amount.
I'm sorry, Mark. Go ahead and say what you said again. I'm reading the comment. What he said: this country needs workers, and let's be clear, Americans don't work. We need population of workers. I hear you, Gil. I don't quite agree with that. I think Americans will work. I mean, of course, there's jobs that us as Americans sometimes we feel like we don't want to do, but that still don't give you don't want to still flood the country, in my opinion, with a whole bunch of illegal immigrants. It's just that's just how I feel about it. And when I say illegal immigrants, I'm talking about people from, because when you say illegal immigrants, I think people think of just south of the border. No, they coming from everywhere. They coming from China. They coming from Africa. You know what I'm saying? They looking like us too. So I'm like, you got to be careful. You got to be careful who you let into the borders. That's all I'm saying. You as a man, Martell, and you have kids or whatever the case, or I have kids, a wife, whatever the case may be, I wouldn't leave my doors wide open for anybody just to come in. You know what I'm saying? I have to protect, I have to safeguard and let who I let in my doors. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying is like, that was mishandling right there, because Barack Obama, the president that we love, he locked that down. So why was it reversed? That's what I'm saying.
I'm going to disagree with you on that because Barack didn't lock that down either.
Yeah, he did. They called him. He was tough on it. He was tough on illegal immigration.
I'm not saying that he wasn't tough.
Okay.
I'm just saying it was never locked down. This country has never not had illegal immigration in this country.
Absolutely.
Never.
Like it always had racism. That'll never go away. You know what I mean?
But racism and illegal immigrants, that's two different things.
No, but I think what you're saying is like, immigration, like, yeah, it's always been illegal immigration.
Okay. So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you have, it sounds like you have a issue with immigrants coming over to the country, being able to work, being able maybe to get health care or whatever. Is that what you're saying? No, I mean, no. I'm just trying to, because I don't want us to steal immigration. So what I'm saying is that your issue with Biden?
I have a problem when they can come and get it, when your brother down the street, your sister down the street, your buddy down the next state can't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like they come here, and it's cool if they get here legally and do it the process. They do the process, and they able to get these benefits. But people like me and you that's having a hard time right now, they can't get benefits. So a lot of these benefits that American citizens should be having, that's the complaint in inner city Chicago. That's the complaint in inner city New York, Texas, that they come in and they getting the benefits that we can't even get. That's the problem. That's what I'm saying. Like I have no problem with helping or being a humanitarian and stuff like that. But if you can't help your people here at home, also, that's why I'm saying with foreign policy, also, a lot of money is going out to help other countries and war efforts and stuff like that, where we need that. That's been happening forever and a long time, of course. But
I get
that's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother issue.
Right. I get everything that you're saying with that.
Okay.
Some of that I do agree with to a certain degree. The only point that I'm trying to make is it's been going on forever. It's
right.
Not just one president. The same thing went on when 45 was in office.
Right.
If you want to say maybe the amount was lower, I don't know the numbers. But what I am saying is illegal immigrants have been allowed in this country since I've been alive, and I'm 51 years old.
Right. Well,
hold on.
No, go ahead.
Again, I definitely understand the issue. I've always had an issue. Forget the presidency. I've always, even as a young person, not even being in the politics, I've always kind of questioned or had an issue. I've said that as America, we take care of a lot of people outside of us first.
Mm-hmm.
So I get what you're saying from that standpoint. We do. However, all I'm saying is getting back on the point of these two people, it's gone on forever. That's all I'm trying to say. It's gone on forever.
So so we cool on that. I think we both understand where we both coming from. Now let me ask you this though. Okay, now back to the question at hand, and then we move on. Do you think, because I do think he's gonna wind up being replaced, and I like Gretchen Whitmer. I don't think she's very too much interested in it, honestly, but there was a report that she said she's not really interested, but you know how that can change once people start talking to you. Do you think she'd be a good pick? And then the other guy was from California, the Newsom. So
Well,
what
one,
you?
I don't think, like I told you earlier, but we'll talk about it, for this, for the record for this. I don't think he's going to get replaced. I think it's too late in the game to get
Hmm.
replaced. Again, my opinion doesn't mean it's true, doesn't
Hmm.
mean it's false, doesn't mean it's right or it's wrong. My opinion, I feel like they are trying to get him through the election.
Okay.
Get him through the election. I think as citizens, as individuals, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to. We all got eyes, so we see.
Yeah.
Just being for real, we see. Um, he's extremely different at 81 than he would have been what he's been 12 years ago when he was
Right.
vice president. So he's extremely different. But I
Right.
just my opinion, just my opinion. I feel like the party is trying to get him through the election. Because if they could get him through the election, what happens after the election, if unfortunately something happens, you still have the presidency being ran by the Democratic office. That's
Yeah.
just how I feel. I think it's too late to try to switch. I don't, as we talked earlier again, but we'll talk, for this purposes. I don't think that there's anybody that you could bring in 5 months before election, 4.5 months before election,
Hmm.
that, that can beat the maniac.
Well, and I think you're right about that, bro. I honestly think you're right about that. I would like to honestly, I would like to see if um if there is a replacement. I would like to see probably Gretchen Whitmer. But let's move on to something that's a little bit more lighter. Let's go ahead
Okay.
and take a look at this here. What you think about your boy, and what you think about what's happening right now? Is Bronny ready for the NBA? And do you feel like he can handle it?
Okay. Here's what I've been talking to people about all day. And I think people have to understand this. Two things can be right. Two things can be right. I keep seeing people saying, oh, people hating if they're quote unquote not in agreement with the pick and things of that nature. That's hogwash. It's not true. Everybody I've talked to, everybody I know personally, is extremely happy for him, the kid, the family,
Hmm.
for LeBron James. It's extremely historic. Who wouldn't who wouldn't if you had the power, if you had enough power to get your son a job
Yeah.
in at the highest level of whatever profession it is. Let's just say if it's a lawyer or whatever. You get what I'm saying? Who wouldn't if you had the power to maybe pull some strings? Who wouldn't do it?
Right.
So from that standpoint, me being a father, me being a black man, I ain't got no problem with it.
Do you?
Now
I
from
mean, what's his role going to be with the Lakers though? That
that's where I'm going with it.
okay.
Now with from a basketball standpoint, I think it puts a target on his back because
Hmm.
he already would have a target on his back just because of who he is.
Yeah.
Now you're getting drafted to the most historical franchise,
Hmm.
probably one of the most historical franchises in sports. Your last name, your dad is there. It puts a target on his back that was already even bigger. LeBron said these words literally during the season last year. He
Hmm.
came on record and said, "My son is better than 50% of the league right now can play right now." That was hogwash. I ain't mad at you for saying it. That's your son. Pump your son up.
Right.
But what I'm saying is we also got to be careful because the young man already gonna have a target on his back. So
Do you-
now, because you got people in the league, this is they're just trying to stay in the league.
mhm.
You get what I'm saying? That's their livelihood. They got to stay in the league.
Yeah.
The real thing about it is, guess what? If Bronny went to a team, didn't make the team, Bronny's still gonna be fine
Yeah.
because of who his daddy is. You got people that this is what they do. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? It's so all I'm saying is that you're gonna have some people going at this young man. You're gonna have people even on the team
Yeah.
in practice going at this young man. All I can say is I hope he's ready. Again, I love it from a black father, black family. We've
Mhm.
seen nepotism. We've seen nepotism all our life.
Right.
So I'm not about to sit up here and scream, "Oh, it's bad, it's bad" from the nepotism standpoint. But it's going to be very interesting, is all I'm going to say.
Well, I think Kyrie Crump gonna be coming on in the next couple of seconds. Thanks, Kyrie, for popping in and listening and popping in and talking because you were in Los Angeles with boots on the ground. But do
He
you
ain't
think
got
it's
no boots on the ground. He
he ain't
just
got
in
no
Los
boots on the
Angeles.
ground?
He just in Los Angeles. No, I'm tripping. I'm tripping.
Here he come. There you go. What's going on, bro? You can't see now. Okay. Let me see. Let me
We can't see you, man.
hold on 1 second. Yeah, hold on
No,
1 second. We got you. Hold on 1 second. We got you.
gotta get off that Obama phone, man. Come on now.
Here we go. Hold on. There we go. We got him.
You
You
got
see
me
him?
now? Yep, yep.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, we talking about this kid. You know what I'm saying, Bronny, man. Hey, I'm glad actually that they didn't pick him with in the first round. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that they go ahead and picked what they felt like they needed. You know what I'm saying? And then, if he was still available, then they did what they did. But
Well,
what
Sante,
you?
I'm sorry, Sante. I'm sorry. I was gonna bring Kyrie up to snuff of how you, because you just changed the
Yeah,
subject,
go
Bronny.
ahead. Go ahead.
So Kyrie, I'm gonna tell you what I just said.
Okay.
So what I was telling Sante, what my opinion is, I'm happy for the kid.
Yeah.
I'm happy for the family. I don't see how you can be a father, a black man, and don't be happy for that family. I don't care how you think, what you feel about LeBron James, the basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you have a problem with him paving a way for his son to be drafted, there's something wrong with you. There's hate there.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
That's just I'm talking strictly I'm not talking from a on court basketball. I'm talking strictly as a father. If I'm a lawyer and I'm running a law firm and my kid go to school to be a lawyer, you think I ain't gonna bring him in if I can? We
Right.
know nepotism is a part of life. Now, with that being said, I'm not a huge fan of the basketball side of it. You and I have kind of talked before. I don't know, you kind of froze, Kyrie. I don't know if you can hear us. But is he there, Sante?
Kyrie, you still here?
Yeah.
Kyrie,
What happened?
You
uh,
froze for a minute.
Yeah, I'm here.
you
Okay.
still
Oh,
here?
that was that me? Because
Yeah. I
yeah,
told you,
yep,
yeah,
I'm
but you,
here.
yeah. So from a basketball standpoint, I'm taking a wait and see approach. I think what it does, and you and I,
Kyrie, you there?
he
Yeah,
there.
yep.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
I can
we
see,
can't
but
see you,
did you
but
did you do something with your lens?
Nah, nah. I was just sitting there and it
It just went
just
off.
cut off. Yep.
So Kyrie, why don't you do a favor for me, man? Why don't you go out and come right back in? We need to see you.
All right.
Yeah,
Oh,
do
you
that one
can't
more
see
time.
me at all. All right.
Nope. Yep, I don't know what
All
happened with her. Martell said you got the Obama phone. Let's get
right. I ain't got no Obama joint.
got
Uh,
that, got that, got that flip phone that ain't working tonight.
All right,
all right.
I'm about to kick you out. Come
Yeah,
right
kick
back.
me out. All
All
right.
right.
Like,
Yeah, bring him up to snuff, Mark, when he come back. But
I will.
yeah,
I will.
I was just thinking. I'm glad he with his dad, man, because honestly, his confidence won't be messed up like Lonzo Ball, basically. You know what I mean? Like how he
No,
came in
see,
and got
no,
ripped
I,
right away.
I disagree with you on there because now
Oh,
his confidence. No, I'm not saying his confidence will be messed up, but again, it's a bigger target now. There you
right.
go.
can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
what I was telling him, Kyrie, from the basketball standpoint, I have to take a wait and see approach. And I say
Yeah.
that because, and you and I have talked about this before off the record down through the years before this even took place. I think he's already, the young man already is going to have a target on his back just because of who he is.
Yeah.
The name on the jersey, because of who his dad is. His dad has went on record and said to the world, he said this last year, my son is better than 50% of the players that's playing in the league right now. When we
Right.
talk huh? Oh,
No, I
when
said you're
we
right.
when we talk like that, yeah, LeBron could back it up. So what we have to keep it real. So he was already going to have a target on his back just because of who he is. I think sometimes some of the things that have been said about the kid by his own people has made the target even bigger. You know, I
Yeah.
remember, I remember, then I'm going to turn it over to Kyrie. I remember Lonzo Ball. I remember LeVar Ball. I love LeVar Ball. Kyrie and I used to talk about LeVar Ball for years. If you can get your kids to the league, you get them to the league.
Mm-hmm.
But you also don't go on record and say to the league, my son is better than Steph Curry.
Right.
Because
We
LeVar
we
Ball did.
we lost your picture again, Kyrie.
What up, How you doing? All right.
So
Yeah, on this podcast real quick. I'ma holler at you.
We lost your picture again unless you in the dark room or something. Can you hear us, Kyrie?
told you it's that flip phone.
Yeah, I think you know what I think is his signal once he went out into that car and he Kyrie, can you hear us? Oh, he might have to get to a good location.
You need some Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
But no, but that's okay until he can get back in.
until he,
You know,
yeah.
then you can give your point. Again, so I'm just saying I love it. I
Mm-hmm.
love it as a dad, love it as a man, as a black dad, black family. Again, I'm a little concerned on the strictly the basketball side.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember you and I have joked about this. I remember Lonzo, you know, what LeVar Ball said about Lonzo. That put a target on Lonzo back.
Right.
I remember when Lonzo first started playing, man, the Drew Holidays, the Pat Bears, they wouldn't even let this man barely bring the ball up court.
I know. I know. Hey, look. At the end of the day, man, I think that honestly, the question was Bronny ready for the NBA? Nah.
You know, you silly.
That's just be what it is, dog. He not ready. I'm not hating or nothing like that. Here go Kyrie. He's back now. Okay, you good?
Man,
Is your reception?
Man, we need you to stay still, brother.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I can't even move on this mug, man.
Yeah. Hold on
Can
one
you can
second.
you can you see me now?
No, we can't. We can't see you.
What?
Man, you
I
sound
think
like
your internet is bad.
you sound like you in the car. You sound like you driving through the car wash.
Really? Okay, man. Let me. Cause I got it on the. Let me put it on the Wi-Fi.
Okay.
And Sante, I don't know if you can hear the back. We're talking and we hearing it.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and kick him off one more time. All right, Kyrie. We be waiting for you one more again. Use the Wi-Fi. But
But go ahead and say what you were saying.
I don't think LeBron Jr. Bronny is ready. Honestly, in my opinion, was there better players in the draft? I don't really know what was going on in college. I think there were some better ones to take that could probably help. But as far as the storyline, I'm just gonna keep it. I'm just gonna shoot straight from the hip. It's a way better story, and I feel good about the.
Absolutely.
I feel good about the draft. I feel good about him being drafted because it feels good, a father and son. But is he ready? I don't think so. But the good thing about this story to me is that he coming in with basically the greatest of all time, or number 2 or number 3. You know what I'm saying? And his dad is going to be able to nurse him into it. LeBron ain't gonna let the league beat him up. You know what I'm saying? I don't think. You know what I mean? I think it's gonna.
But when you say he ain't gonna let the league beat him up, he can't control that. He can't. He can't. He can't control that.
All right,
Kyrie,
now I should be cool now. Can you guys hear me and see me?
we can hear you, but you kind of. We can hear you, but you kind of going in and out. I don't know if you. It's showing me that your Wi-Fi is not that hot.
Oh, okay. Damn.
You might have to go sit in Starbucks or something, man.
And I gotta kind of mute you, Kyrie, or we gonna hear ourselves. Do you got a computer near you? All right, we remove them.
Yeah.
I
So
hate doing that.
so here's the thing. Can I tell you what I would have liked to have seen?
All right.
Just me personally.
Yep.
I would have liked to have seen him either go undrafted,
Mm-hmm. Mm.
then get signed, picked up. When you don't get drafted, then teams can bring you in as free, because you didn't get signed or whatever,
Right.
as an undrafted, you know what I'm saying, player, whatever. I would have either liked to see him get drafted by a very good franchise
Mm-hmm.
or not get drafted at all. And the reason why I say that is because, again, it's less pressure at that point.
Yeah.
They have they spent the pick on him. And I'm not saying it's 55 players that was better than him. It was an extremely weak draft.
Right.
But there was some players that any mama and daddy who kid is not named James
Right.
coming out of college, they had a better college career at that
Correct.
point, could have said, why not my kid? Do you
Right.
understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So all I'm saying is if you go to another team, I definitely would have liked to see him go from a free agent standpoint to another team. And the reason why I say that is because the Lakers is already a circus as it is.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine how big this circus is about to be. So all I'm saying is it's the pressure. It's this pressure that's going every step this kid take on the basketball court during a basketball game, an NBA basketball game is going to be scrutinized.
Mm-hmm.
If he misses a shot and he comes to the bench, who's coaching him? Is he listening to Coach Reddick or is he listening to Coach Daddy? Do you understand what I'm saying? If he comes in and he scores 2 points a game, has a horrible game, he's not ready. He's not ready. He's not ready. You get what I'm saying? If he come in and get minutes,
Mm-hmm.
he's getting minutes because he's LeBron's son.
Mm-hmm.
So all I'm saying is I'm strictly talking pressure. This has nothing to do with getting to the league. Because if I'm a dad, I'm getting my son to the league too if I got that much power. Great story. Hey, I write movies for a living. No, for real. This is a great movie. This is a great TV show.
Yeah.
It's an awesome story as a father and as a family. I'm just not sold on the basketball aspect of it. That's what I'm saying.
Well, what do you expect? What do you expect from Bronny this year? Then I mean, I know standards is kind of really low, and do you think, say, when LeBron leave the NBA, will
But see,
basically Bronny have a career after that?
but
Basically,
no, it's funny. You just made a real good point.
yeah,
You said the standards is low. No, it's not low. See, it would typically be low for pick number 55.
yeah,
We're literally having conversations all over the world about pick number 55 and not pick number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody even know who pick
That's
number
crazy.
1 was. No, I'm just being for real.
Yeah, you're
When
right.
have you ever you've been in sports all your life, just like me. When have you ever seen pick number 55? Everybody watched the draft yesterday, day 2. Nobody watches nobody would have watched that draft yesterday.
Right,
You watched the draft yesterday to see if the Lakers was going to get Bronny.
right.
So what I'm saying is there's already the scrutiny there. And as a dad, while he's in high school, even a little bit in college, you can protect that somewhat.
Yeah,
It's going to be hard to protect in the NBA because one thing for certain and two things for sure. Everybody, I'm talking all the sports pundits and things of that, the quote unquote, they do this for a living.
mm-hmm.
Everybody that's talking real good about it right now, let him suck it. Let him suck in summer league in 2 weeks. If he sucks in summer league in 2 weeks, the narrative is going to change.
Well, you know he is. I mean, I hate to say it,
Well,
but
I'm not
because
saying
he going against grown. Yeah, well, it's not summer. Well, summer league is not.
Well, not
You know,
against
the
summer
actual.
league.
These is actual. You know,
Right.
kids coming in with him. But
You have number 1 pick, Sante.
yeah, they about to go at him, dog. They about to
Right.
go at him.
You have number 1 picks that struggle in summer league. So what I'm saying is, if he struggles in summer league, you think these young people that's in summer league these are people that's trying to showcase either making a team or getting stuff on tape. Because if I don't make this team, I need the next team to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Bronny not getting cut.
Yeah,
It ain't a team in the world think Bronny is It's not a it's nothing about Bronny that's going to get cut from the Lakers.
Right.
Bad summer league, anything. We know that.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, I'm going to ask you: if you 19 and you 20 years old, you a second round pick, aren't you going at him
I'm going at him hard as I possibly can.
when the
Because,
season starts?
oh yeah,
When the season starts, if you're a veteran that could be out of the league soon, aren't you going at him?
absolutely. Because that's my life.
Absolutely.
I ain't got a rich daddy to fall back on. I don't have
Absolutely.
and
So all I'm saying is from a basketball standpoint, I'm
right.
strictly talking about basketball
Yeah.
on the floor. I'm not sold. I got to see it. That's all.
Honestly, bro.
The
honestly,
story,
the
if I
story's
saw
good.
LeBron James right now, I would shake his hand and be like, great job.
Mhm.
Absolutely great job to get your son into the league. Absolutely. I sure would.
I think the story is great, like I said, but like you said, man, when that ball bounce, when it's tipped, it's gonna be another story coming, man. And I think the more that you were saying, the more now. Also, Kyrie, if you want to call in, please go ahead and call in 248-905-1128. We don't know what's wrong with the phone. Here he come again. Let's see if we can get him. Kyrie is trying to get you, buddy. But we're gonna have to invest in him a MacBook.
Right.
Kyrie, I changed the program and everything to make sure it worked. But
Kyrie using the Dell.
Acer, But no, honestly, the more that you was talking, Martell, the more that I did kind of like understand, like what you're saying is true. Like, I tell you the truth, I don't know if Bronny, man, I like the story, great story, but it's gonna be a hard season for him, dog. He gonna have to make sure to keep his confidence up, and hopefully he goes into it with the expectation that, hey, I'm just trying to learn at this point, because as much as you say is you don't want to, you trying to be your own man, you're not trying to fill your daddy's shoes. When you're sitting at the end of that bench, you're gonna be up there thinking, you know what I mean? It's only human nature, So and I don't know if he does. Me and you know both, man, and I ain't no sports pundit or expert like you, but when you're sitting at the end of that bench, man, you're gonna want to play. And when you play and you get shut down, then your confidence is gonna get toe up, and your daddy ain't gonna really be able to do too much about that. You know what I'm saying? So
the end of the day, when you start talking about professional sports,
yeah,
I tell everybody, when you start talking about professional sports, now you talking about the best of the best.
you're right.
Even the guy that's the 12th man on an NBA roster, he probably was the man on his team in high school.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So now we talking about the best of the best. I'll use a story just for the people, and I know you and I have talked about this. I remember playing in a basketball league. I ain't never said I was good enough to play pro.
Mm-hmm.
I was a decent basketball player. I wasn't good enough to play pro. I was decent.
Mm-hmm.
I remember playing in a basketball league. It was a church league, and we played against this church, and they had Lindsey Hunter on the team.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching Lindsey Hunter play for the Pistons.
Yeah.
I'm talking like in his early years. I'm like, he whack.
Right.
He all right. But guess what? His all right NBA was 100 times better than us.
Yeah.
And I remember us playing against him. Because I always ran the point. I'm bringing the ball up the court.
Mm-hmm.
Woof, he got me. Dog, his shoes was barely tied up.
Mm-hmm.
Woof, he got me. Okay, so now I'm like, okay, I got to pay attention a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Take the ball out again. I'm coming up the court. Woof, he got me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I did? I said, I ain't bringing the ball up the court no more.
Kyrie, can you hear us?
I said, I wasn't bringing the ball up the court no more. So
Can you hear us, Kyrie?
No, man, I told you, man, you.
You're low.
Just tell him to call in. We ain't got to see
You want to call in, Kyrie? I got the phone number for you if you like. Okay, just look on the screen. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give it to you on the screen. Just look at the screen and you will see it. All right, cool.
Yeah. So I said all that to say, I remember saying I would never say nothing bad about a professional basketball player a day in my life again.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they do. These guys eat. You know what I'm saying? So and again, I think Bronny is going to actually be an okay NBA player. I do.
Mm-hmm.
In the right system, the right fit. I just don't think it's right now.
How many years do you think it's going to take him? By time, what, 2 or 3 years? Not number one, I
Easy.
know that, but
Some of the best picks in the world take 4 years.
so how much you think for him though?
I think a good 2 years for him to be a decent bench role player.
So what is his position? Honestly, is he point guard or what is he? A shooting guard? What is he supposed to be, man?
Too
I
small,
really don't know.
too small for point. Again,
Exactly. Like,
the thing, we had this discussion in the barbershop. Too small for point. The good thing about today's NBA is
mhm,
positionless.
right.
That's why I say he'll be able to play because it's positionless. You know what I'm saying? The young man is athletic. He can play defense.
Hmm.
So now they call it the 3 and D guys. He'll be able to shoot threes, play D.
Right.
That's why I say he'll be able to play in this NBA. Now, when it was strictly not positionless basketball, point guard, 2 guard, 3 guard,
Kyrie, are you with us?
small forward, power forward,
Yep.
center, I don't know where he would play at that point.
We got Kyrie Crump from Los Angeles online on the phone, and unfortunately we couldn't get him on. We got him on for a brief second, but he's back. I let the two experts go ahead and duke it out about this one. Kyrie, what you was thinking about this pick, man, at number 55 for your hometown Lakers, man?
You know what? I actually didn't have a problem with it at 55. We were nervous out here because we had pick 17, right? That we wouldn't jump the gun and pick him at 17. But at 55, that 55 normally don't make the team anyway, right? But in his
Yeah,
case,
he is. But
right, it was a different story. All right. But here's the thing with him, and this is why Brian always get the shots at him, right? And Rich Paul was calling other teams, threatening them if they draft Bronny, that he'll go play in Australia. When does any second round pick ever pick and choose where he go?
Wow.
absolutely.
Right. So those are different things. As much as I love Brian and all that, different than Archie Manning, who did it with Eli.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I'm not mad at him because I'm glad a black man has finally gotten the autonomy and the authority to do that, right, and champion for his kids. I think, and I heard that part with Marty when he was saying as a dad, right, that's what we supposed to do. So that part is great. But I can give you 3 instances of we got some NBA kids that dads were in the league. Michael Jordan didn't do all that shit for his kids. Michael Jordan didn't do all that for his kids.
You right
Hey,
about that.
Right?
You right.
and they had better, hey, Kyrie, and they had better college careers. But keep going. I said, and they had better college careers.
And they had better college careers, right? But Jordan understood, and I heard you say this too, Marty, he understood the flack and the pressure that those kids would take. That's why LeBron doing this ain't all about Bronny.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot about Bron, his legacy. Right?
True,
Because
true.
he don't really necessarily care about the target that he's putting on his son back. And I heard Marty when he said he's better than half the league now. Right? When you put that type of pressure on your son back, a lot of times that's about you.
Yeah.
Right?
I appreciate that, brother.
And
Because
he's done it.
What you were saying is correct. Go ahead, Mark.
no, I was just saying, again, the funny part about it, what most people won't know, Kyrie and I, we talk sports all the time. Him being in LA, me being on the East Coast. Again, we're not saying that we're perfect at this. We're not saying that we pros, but this is stuff we've been talking about. We've been talking about Bronny since he was 7th, 8th grade. And again, we've always said this: the pressure at the end of the day, I think that's where people is getting mixed up. People don't understand two things can be right. Because I've seen people all day talking about it. If you're not going online and saying, "Oh, this is the greatest thing that ever happened," they're calling you a hater.
Right.
It's not being a hater. I'm not hating
Right.
at the pick. I love the fact that this man, as Kyrie just said, the man got the power to pick his coaches, pick the players that he want to play with, and now tell the team, pick my son at 55.
Mm-hmm.
That's power. Rich Paul telling other NBA executives, don't pick this kid, because if you pick this kid, he's going to play in Australia. That's power. I'm I'm not gonna
Is that good power though? You know what I
no,
mean? Like,
well, no, but it does to me. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad power. I'm
yeah.
just saying it still is power though. But what I'm saying is again, what Kyrie and I are talking about, which nobody is. If you say something, they make it sound like you're hating. It's the basketball aspect.
Mm-hmm.
The kid already was going to have, just because of who he is, the namesake. His name ain't Bronny Smith. His name
Right.
ain't Bronny Jones. It's Bronny James, and he's a
Right.
basketball player. So he already was going to have, the kid had a target on his back as soon as he started playing basketball. All I'm saying is this: the dad made the target even bigger, like Kyrie just said. That's all I'm
Right.
saying.
And I know you touched on this too, and I wanted to touch on this even more, right? Because the Lakers, like you said, has always been a story franchise, and since LeBron been here, we've been kind of a circus, right? But now, you know the type of pressure that you put on a first time coach in JJ Redick, right? To where now AD and all these guys are looking at him.
Mm-hmm.
Because we got other guys. We got the boy from Michigan State who he's actually ready to rock.
Mm-hmm.
You talking about Christie?
He's
Yeah.
ready to play. That's Christie, right? So now you bring in Bronny, who I think will probably be on the two-way deal. He'll probably be going back and forth to the G League. He ain't gonna be on the 12-man, initially. But you looking at somebody like Christie who's ready to play.
Mm-hmm.
He's on his option. What are you telling this kid when he's a little bit more advanced than Bronny, and Bronny's taking his minutes?
Mm-hmm.
And now we lose games, and now AD and some of these vets now they looking at Redick crazy. Bron's
Exactly.
never going to come out on the media and take the heat. They don't let Redick be the fall guy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Redick is set up like Steve Nash. If you remember how Steve Nash was set up in Brooklyn with KD and Kyrie and Harden when they was doing their buffoonery, right? Nash was the one that took the fall first. Right? So I see the same thing happening with Redick if this stuff don't work. Right?
Yeah.
Bron's smart enough to know that his son cannot come in unless he just have a superb summer league and be a part of the rotation initially. Bron's smart enough to let him go to the G League, let him get his feet wet,
Mm-hmm.
Let him score a little bit and do whatever to show that he can help, right? And then they'll bring him in slowly, but it starts when the minutes start to happen.
Yeah.
Right? When he started taking away other guys' minutes that may be slightly better than him, that's when you start having the locker room confusion and then different people will be like, man, are we playing for wins or are we playing for LeBron's legacy?
Right.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry, Kyrie, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, and I was just going to piggyback off of what you just said and said. LeBron is a smart guy. Guess what? If this works, it's I got my kid to the league. I got my team to draft him. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's all blue skies. There ain't nobody looking at it from the JJ Redick standpoint, from the front office standpoint.
JJ is a fall guy. He a
Yeah,
fall guy.
exactly.
But you got to realize why he was brought in. He was brought in by Bron for this.
There you
All
go.
this stuff was already orchestrated. But
Absolutely.
here's what's going to happen. Because I heard you guys say this earlier. This is what happens, Sante, when LeBron retires.
Mm-hmm.
When you said when LeBron retires, what happens to Bronny?
Mm-hmm.
Right? That was one of your questions.
Mm-hmm.
what happens is Brian is about to get this expansion team in Vegas,
Okay.
right? And what happens is Bronny and Bryce
And
will be
Bryce.
playing their team in Vegas. So Brian don't be set. As long his dad is finna get the keys to the NBA like Jordan was handed the keys. Right? So they're gonna be set. They're gonna be fine. He don't get that expansion franchise in Vegas. Rich Paul is the most powerful agent in the NBA, and he has half the players in the NBA, and that's Clutch's Bron's organization, right? That's his label. So you don't think that Rich Paul can call a team and be like, if you want to sign this guy, then he attach Bronny or Bryce to it.
Yeah. And it
And
goes back,
guys gotta,
and it goes back to what you just said and said, Kari. That's the thing that I I hate when people try to make it seem when you're talking facts that it means there's some hate there. There's no hate there from on LeBron, but no matter how much you like LeBron, um, no matter how much you like LeBron, you have to realize facts is facts. Everything has his handprints on it. Did JJ Redick hire? You think JJ Redick get hired if Brian not okay with it? You can sit and say to you blue in the face, oh, he ain't had nothing to do with the coaching search. Guess what? The podcast that they started 3 years ago, he been interviewing JJ Redick on the podcast for the last 3 or 4 months.
Brian is very calculated.
He's very
Everything that he has done is calculated. This podcast with JJ Redick, he just don't do that because he's bored. Brian is a billionaire with so many different
there. You
activities.
go.
This was all calculated. Right?
There you go.
They knew him. Now, honestly, the two people that should have been, and I would say one because Monty got fired later. If you guys remember, the Lakers wanted Monty Williams before they hired him. He turned them down when his wife had, rest in
Cancer.
peace, fatally died in that crash, right? And he
Again, the new wife
out.
and the new wife had cancer.
Yeah. The only reason she signed, or cancer, I'm sorry, I said died in the car crash. But the only reason why he signed with the Pistons is because they dumped all that money on him, right? So he was about to, if the Lakers just would have waited, right? He gets fired, a few days before the draft. We still hadn't hired a coach at that point, right? But if the best two candidates, basketball-wise, for the Lakers position was Sam Cassell, who got all the NBA experience and more championships,
Mm-hmm.
and has sat on the NBA bench, than JJ Redick and Monty Williams. But here's the thing with Sam. Sam wasn't going to take that job and under those circumstances because that's on his resume. You're not going to set me up to fail because I'm going to be a puppet for LeBron, right? So it was a lot because he interviewed for it. He had 2 interviews for it, right? And that was the understanding here. Is Sam was like, nah, I'm that job right now is not allowing me to coach the way I want to coach.
There you go.
JJ Redick was off the job after Hurley turned it down, right? Now that initially the Lakers were trying to get a coach. I'm gonna be honest and not just jump on Brian. They were trying to get a coach, and Danny Hurley that was gonna coach the right way, right? But he didn't want to take it, because of the various reasons that with NBA players, and he got a great situation in UConn. But Brian Redick is this. He got a 3-year deal?
No, he got 4-year.
4-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
4 years. He won't see that. He won't see that.
Mm.
He won't see it.
And again, that there you go. It's a reason why if you're Darvin Ham, it's a reason why if you're JJ Redick, you take the job. Absolutely, it's a reason why. But again, if I'm Sam Cassell, championships, 15 years on the bench, my resume, I don't want to coach the Lakers. Nothing against Brown. Again, people make it seem like you're talking negative, Brown. You're not talking negative, Brown. You're talking facts. I'm not taking a Lakers job as a if I'm Sam Cassell, because guess what? If it don't work, it's on me. If it works, it's because of Brian. That's just facts.
Yeah.
That's just facts. So the same thing with Hurley. Dan Hurley wants to coach in the pros. He has said it. Yeah, he'd like that UConn done repeat it. But do you really leave that situation in UConn off of a repeat and you're not able to come in and coach the way that you want to coach?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that? So I get everything that Kyrie is saying. Brian has a strength hold on the NBA. I've made this joke, and Kyrie, I know you're gonna remember this. The things that he's done great for the league is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But I guarantee you there are 30 owners that can't wait for him to retire. No. Because no. But then there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
I say that because again, I'm giving Brian props. You have a young black man that's a player, strictly a player, that's the most powerful person in the NBA outside of the commissioner.
Right.
So if you an owner, most of the owners are what 60 to 80 white men.
Mm-hmm.
You know, of course, we got some of us sprinkled in there with a little ownership, but you know what I'm saying. For the most part, you have a young African American man
Mm-hmm.
that has more power basically than you, and you own the team.
Mm-hmm.
So you telling me that them owners can't wait for him not to retire? Absolutely, because guess what? Now you can start taking the power back.
Right.
So again, I give
Let me say this about that, Dale. The reason why, and we don't do a point. I agree with you. We don't do a point counterpoint because it makes it interesting,
absolutely
right? The reason why the owner, I'll say the owners ain't tripping because at the end of the day, all these are hobbies for them. They about money. And Brian
Right.
brings in money for the franchise. So they could care less about really, we're talking X's and O's and power of the team and winning and losing. They can care less. Our owner out here is Jenny Buss. Jenny don't care about winning or losing. That's why they're making the decisions that they're making because they finna sell out Summer League Vegas with Bronny being
absolutely
on the Summer League.
No, right. Absolutely. But there have been stories. There have been stories down through the years where there have been said owners that have said he got too much power. That's all I'm trying to say. Of course, I get what you're saying. Not everybody, because like you say, the men bring.
Owners that probably say that.
You say what?
Those owners that probably say that about him probably have a little bit of racism in them.
Mm-hmm.
Probably
Now,
so.
Now, if racism is about black or white, then yeah, this young black man got too much power. But most of these owners that are white, they only color they see is green.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely right.
LeBron is in more green than anyone. They don't like him, right? And they do think he got too much power, but they like, man, long as he keeps jumping and what they say, shut up and dribble.
Shut up and dribble.
Long as he shut up and dribble, they're happy with him. Long as he's shutting up and dribbling, right? He can have that little on the court power. These little decisions and all these little things that he's making. Let's be honest. At the end of the day, Jenny Buss about to go pocket another $300-400 million. She don't care.
Fellas.
The fans care about winning.
Fellas, let me go ahead and because and you're right about that. I agree with both of you guys, but Kyrie, I don't know if can you see the screen, Kyrie, at all? Like on your or you just on the phone? Are you looking at your something?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just on the phone.
All right. Well, we gonna switch gears, and we're gonna switch gears to this conference realignment. Did we cut it too short or quick? But I just wanted to talk about the conference realignment because I talked about that with you, Kyrie, a little bit, and you was kind of telling me that it ain't I don't know if it's really a big deal, but hey, man, I think in the mid America, if the Big Ten got cut down to 2 teams, man, we'd be having heart attacks around here, dog. Like, so with the Pac-12 now being, the Pac-2 at this point and trying to recruit teams to get to it, like, How do y'all feel, and what do y'all feel about the new system of what the new system that we in with this whole situation? Do you think I'm gonna miss the Pac-12, quote unquote? You know what I'm saying? As a power conference, I know that we moving towards like really a two conference power situation at this point. I mean, including the Big 12. So you got 2-3. You know what I mean? But how do y'all feel about that? I think I'm gonna miss the Pac-12
Well,
in a
Asante,
situation.
I'm honestly, I'm on as much as I know sports and I talk about sports, and I definitely have a way I feel about the conferences because you brought up the Pac-12. Kyrie being in
Yeah,
LA, I'm gonna let him handle more of this, but I'm just gonna say one thing about it. At the end of the day, we know it's all money. Of course, you missed the rivals. I grew up Big Ten winner, Pac-12 winner played in the Rose Bowl.
Rose Bowl.
You get what I'm saying? That's how we grew up. But now, again, based on money, the only thing I will say that I'm not a huge fan of the realignment. I'm not. But since we're going to have it, we're definitely going to have some better regular season games. Instead, like I'll use Michigan as an example. I'm a Michigan fan. I'm gonna watch Michigan if they play Pontiac Central. I'm being honest with you, but you know I watch it because I'm a Michigan fan, and it don't matter who they play. But playing the Air Forces, playing the Akrons and things of that nature, I think it's going to be cool to start being able to see them playing the the UCLA's, the USC's, things of that nature. So since we got to have realignment, I guess I'm gonna look at it from the positive standpoint. I just think we're gonna get better games, but I'm gonna turn this one over to Kyrie because Pac-12 his stumping grounds.
Yeah, but see, you make a great point, and me and Sante talked about this earlier. The difference between fan bases out here and there is you will watch Michigan play Central. They won't even watch USC play Colorado out here if SC not winning, right? So that's the first thing is the interest in college football on the West Coast on a Saturday as opposed to the Midwest where the weather is different. So when we talk in September, October, we still have 60, 70-degree weather where we outside, right? So you got to have something. It got to be very interesting, or SC got to be very good for somebody to plan their Saturday around, college football, unless you're a real fan. So the fan bases are different, on the West Coast as opposed to the Midwest. That's why you said if this happened in the Big Ten, the type of kickback you'll be getting. That's why people are sad about it because it's the end of the tradition and all that other stuff, but not to the degree if it was down south or Midwest, right? It's about a money thing. UCLA was at a money deficit until they joined the Big Ten. So they needed that money to fund some of the water polos and some of these other less money generating sports. They was in jeopardy of losing, right? UCLA is a UC school. SC is a private school, right? So all the money that was going through UCLA, with it being a UC school, they have to share with all the other UC schools.
Okay.
So their situation was different, right? So they needed this, to get out and all these other things. And plus the Big Ten Network, the commissioner, Larry Scott of the Pac-12 had made some horrible decisions. We had games called football after dark out here, and they tried to promote that. And imagine having a football game in Southern California at 9:00. That's 12:00 you guys' time, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So that was the least watched game, period. It wasn't being watched at 12:00 on the East Coast, and it wasn't being watched at 9:00 here. It was a horrible idea.
And just to piggyback on that, and just to piggyback on what you just said and said, Kyrie, here's the other thing that a lot of people don't mention, and I'm glad you just said that. They don't talk about the other sports. They don't talk about the other sports.
Right.
using USC is a college football school that periodically you got some basketball because UCLA more basketball, but then they got football. So you have these schools that if that was the only sport that they had, okay, that would be something different. But now you're talking about think about what Kyrie just said. UCLA was in the deficit. You wouldn't think that UCLA would be in the deficit
Right.
because we think it's strictly UCLA Bruins football, basketball.
Hmm.
But what about the other 20 sports that's not making any money? It's all money related, like Kyrie said. So it's like the people I see a lot of people talking about, oh, they hate it, they hate it, they hate it. But if this doesn't happen, eventually these programs fold.
Right.
They fold.
Mm-hmm.
Because how or because
So
go ahead, Kyrie. I was just about to say,
I'm
huh?
I'm saying the only thing that folds is not the major ones, right? UCLA football and basketball will be around, but what folds is the water polo team,
That
girls.
exactly. Yeah, that's what I was
What
going right.
folds is the lacrosse.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But what I
You
but what I would like to see, even though we down to the Pac-2 at this point, I would still like you barely I mean, so you really don't got a conference at this point, but you got one. But so what I would like to see is I would like to see the Mountain West as they are talking right now. I mean, look, bro, I'm actually thinking about all these smaller conferences go ahead and just being dissolved, like the MAC, the Mountain West, Conference USA. All these just be dissolved into these bigger conferences because really, it's like, what are they playing for? At the end of the day, what are
Let,
these teams and
let,
schools
well,
playing for at this point?
I'm going to respectfully
me
disagree with you with
answer
that.
that question real quick.
Go ahead.
Right. Let me answer that real quick with Till, because I just had a conversation with somebody about this on recruiting. This is what now is called the Power Four.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The Power Four is the SEC, the Big Ten, the Big 12, and the ACC. That's the Power Four. Everybody else are called mid majors. They called
The
what they
group
call
of
them
five, I think the group of
group of five.
yeah.
Group of five. Group of five, right? So this is what they're doing now is two things. If you are a power four, why would you want to start adding some of these group of fives and you got to start sharing the revenue? That's one thing. They're not going to add them. Number two, now they're using it, and this is what's hurting high school kids and JC kids with recruiting. The power four are using a group of fives like high schools now, right? With this transfer portal.
Right.
So if you at San Diego State, obviously your dream was to go to SC, right? Maybe you just wasn't big enough or didn't have something coming out of high school that allowed you to go to SC. You go to San Diego State, play well. They're using these group of fives now as their recruiting, right? And they're going there and they plucking these kids out of the transfer portal, and they bring them in that way. And they already got a kid that's ready, that's already been in a college environment, and those kids are really taking the scholarship from high school kids. So now a recruiting class of high school, instead of it being 25 like it used to be back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
now it's about 14, 15. And those are all 4 or 5 stars if you're talking about some of the upper echelon programs. You may save 10 to 15 spots for transfer portal kids, depending on how many kids you're losing out of the portal. It may go up or down. But most of the recruiting now are portal. It's the portal. So that's why they like the group of five now. Power Four won't allow any of these the only group of 5 team, which is really not a group of 5, that they can join is Notre Dame.
Right. You're right about that. Go ahead, Mark. Then I had this. Go ahead.
No, let me add this. I agree with everything Kyrie just said, but I just want to add one another point to it. Then at this point, if you start doing that, what you had talked about, Sante, bringing these lower teams into, like you say, just Power Four. Now you got all these teams in the Power Four. Now you're talking about watered down competition. You're not now the play on the field
Mm.
is now watered. Everything
Exactly.
that Kyrie just said, scholarships and all that, everything. But now you're still adding. Now you're adding the product on the
Mm.
field because I don't want to see Michigan play Eastern Michigan every week. You get what I'm saying? I don't want to see Ohio State playing Eastern Michigan and Akron all the time. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because if I am let's just say, let me say I'm a two-star athlete. Let me say if I'm a two-star athlete, I'm fringe.
Mhm.
I'm fringe. I can go to a MAC team, play. I can get notoriety. People will see me, or I can go and play for Michigan, but I sit on the bench for 3 years. If I'm that fringe kid, I don't know if I'm gonna get a chance to play at Michigan. I don't know
Right.
if I'm gonna get a chance to play at the Bamas of the world. So I need that place like Akron. I need that Central Michigan. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because now it's not gonna. I'm going to get an opportunity to play against what they consider peers on my same level, but I am also going to have an opportunity to play some quote unquote upper echelon teams as well to showcase my talent.
And you're right about that. I guess I guess in another way, or another thought pattern that I was thinking about, how about, I don't know if this is going to happen down the road, but it might happen. It might be advantageous, or a good thing for them to do. Why don't the American Conference and CUSA combine? Why don't the MAC and, let's say, Sun Belt combine? See what I'm saying? Where
But if
I
you're
think
in
they'll
that,
be stronger. Like together, just you see what I'm saying. You seeing how this merger has really like made the Big Ten stronger, made the Big 12 stronger, has
but
made.
you're not looking at it from a money standpoint.
But
If
I am. I'm
no,
saying that if you got the Sun Belt, say if you got the Sun Belt and the MAC combined, you don't think that'll make
no,
a
because
better conference?
when you say better, what do you mean
I
by
think what
better?
makes the conference, I say, is when the TV networks
There
actually
you
get
go.
big.
That's why I was
That's
just
what
going.
you
I
got
was
to
just about to say
understand.
that. I'm strictly talking money. That doesn't
ESPN,
make them a better conference. That don't make them a better conference.
What I'm saying, if you make it
ESPN,
into better conference, if you make it into better conference, when you make it a better attraction for the money, like I would like to see the MAC and the Sun, just quote unquote, the MAC and the Sun Belt together. Yeah, it's not the big boys, it's not the conference, the Power Four, but you know what I'm saying. Maybe condense that group of five down to maybe three.
But
You know what
watch
I'm
what I'm
saying?
getting. I get what you're saying, but
You
watch
know
where
what I
I'm
mean?
going. I'm talking money now. I'm talking because we have to talk money as much
Right,
as
right.
it be different. I get what you're saying from a football standpoint on the field, but it go back to what we were saying about Brian and stuff like that. And Bronny, there's still a business side to it. If you're the MAC, there's only allotted a certain amount of revenue sharing from that comes in from the NCAA and things of that nature. Do I want to go share that? Use an example, Kyrie gonna get exactly what I'm saying. If I'm the Big Ten, if I'm the SEC, I could take on teams from Conference USA. I could take on teams from the Big Ten, and it's not gonna mess with my bottom line too much because guess what? I'm still the Big Ten. The money that they make is the money that Big Ten and SEC makes more money than anybody. So the money I make, we can cover all sports. But if you put the Conference USA and the MAC in, like Kyrie said, volleyball gone.
No, I'm not
Um,
talking. But I'm not saying put them
but you
with the
gotta
Big
look at
Ten.
it from a
I'm
money
not. I'm not saying.
standpoint.
I'm not saying bring Conference USA or the MAC into the Big Ten. I'm saying
No, I said together.
if you
You said
bring those
together.
to, yeah, those two, what would be so hard about that they wouldn't actually
The
bring more eyes
economics.
and more money to the table?
The
I understand that
economics.
each conference got a certain amount of money. I understand that uh, I understand when a team leave, like for instance, when those teams left the SEC, I'm sorry, when those teams left the Pac-12 at that time, they had to pay a withdrawal fee. They had to pay, they had to pay fees. I understand that, but again, the Pac-12 could. I know the Pac-12 lost a lot of money, but what I'm saying is, if these mid majors combine, again, why wouldn't that make? Don't that make sense that they would actually become a stronger conference financially, fiscally? People, it'd become more of an attraction to see. You know what?
No, because no, and I say that because it's gonna be funny what I'm about to say, but it's the truth. So I just watched a New Edition story the other day. I just watched a New Edition story the other day, and that's something totally different in football, but it's still the same
Concept.
basic thing. It's still the same thing. So I watched a New Edition story the other day, and I watched it before. Of course, I knew New Edition story. When Bobby dropped out of the group, now they wasn't sharing their money 5 ways with managers, um, managers, agents, and all of that, right? They wasn't sharing money 5 ways. So now it went down to sharing money 4 ways, right? So they had a problem. Ralph had a big problem bringing in Johnny because guess what? Now you back sharing your money 5 ways. And I know it may sound funny because now I'm talking singing versus football, but it's the same way. It's all about revenue.
Exactly, it is about revenue, and I get that. I know that's the bottom line, but wouldn't you think that more revenue will be on the table when these type of situations when they combine? I mean, it has to be an attractive situation for them to want to do it. Number one, it has to make money, or they're not going to do it. And I'm pretty sure that it probably haven't even been brought up, or it may have been brought up. But you don't think at all that? Go ahead, Kyrie.
Here's the thing, and I get what you're saying, and I think you're speaking hypothetically. Like, man, if we could just combine, we can be stronger, right? If we combine this and this, it'll make us stronger. That's
And
what
I'm
you're
only
kind of
saying
saying,
that
right?
because it seems like these schools, like the mid majors, like you say, when it comes down to the playoff time, like they got the expanded playoff, that these guys never will make it. You know what I'm saying? Like one of those teams may make it in the mid major. The rest gonna be
So it's not. Go ahead.
no. Go ahead. I'm listening.
So it's not set up for that. That's what I'm saying. So they can strengthen themselves to get themselves a ESPN 2 or 3 deal to where they can make more money for their conference, but they're never going to be able to be a part of the Power Four. And it's kind of what Martell was saying, that they it's almost like hogging the money. They're hogging the playoff spots, which brings billions, right? Then even 8 teams at the bottom, guess what? You don't make the playoffs. Now you got the bowl games where they can still make more money, because now those teams who probably didn't make the bowl games will probably have to be a part of the bowl games.
Right.
So I think those mid-majors could do what you did, and it will bring more money to their conference, but it's not going to get them to the point where the Power Fours will vote them in to add one more, if that make any sense, right? To turn them from a Power Four to a Power Five, because the Sun Belt and the Big West combined, and they got 16 teams, but they looking at it like all 16 of your teams is 8th and below in our league,
So let
right?
me use.
And you're bringing no revenue to us,
So,
right?
so,
San Diego State's not going to bring any revenue to a West Coast deal. So the Big Ten was smart. They came and they conquered the biggest markets, right? They came and they conquered Los Angeles, right?
Right.
Biggest market out here, right? Came and conquered Oregon, right? Oregon, because of Phil Knight, right, is a big market, not because of what they do, but over the last 10, 15 years, football-wise, Oregon is a big market because of Phil Knight, right? Washington the same way. Washington historically has been have a very good football program and a solid basketball program. So they just came and they took the West Coast and they took the Northwest, right? Big 12, Arizona is closer to Texas. That's why they went to the Big 12, right? The market was Texas wanted that market because they already got it.
Right.
Right. So they could, San Diego State could go with someone else, and they'll probably get a better deal than what they have now. But in my opinion, I don't think that will be enough for them to be a part of this college coalition and be a part of this playoffs. Right. Now, if one of them is just spanking up on somebody and go 12-0 and all that, they do have the ability, right, to be a part of because the playoffs expanded to 12, right?
Yep.
Expanded to 12 teams. So they will let them get in as maybe a 12 seed. I do see them, doing that, a 12-0 mid-major team being a 12 seed, playing the 9-3 or playing the number one seed. I could see them doing that, but yeah, no, it's just money. I think Martell was right. It's just money generated,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
they not going to let somebody else get a piece of it.
Absolutely, and that's why I looked this up while Kyrie was talking. So to kind of piggyback on what I said, to give an example. So this was in 23. I got my computer. This is in 23. So the Power Five conferences combined 3.3 billion in total revenue. The Big Ten was the leader in the conferences at $845.6 million. Right. So I went to Conference USA in the MAC. Just between the two, 45 million. So you got two conferences that you just talked about. I'm using them as an example because that's what you talked about. The MAC, Conference USA.
Right.
So $45 million revenue. Now put those two together, and every team, every sport, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. The math, like they say, the math ain't mathing. So now you talking about, as Kyrie said, now you talking about sports that, yeah, the football team would be fine, basketball team would be fine, hockey team would be fine. What happens to water polo? What happens to swimming? What happens to track and field at some of these schools? So I get what you're saying from a competitive standpoint on the field of play. But the thing that we always got to remember, especially in sports with everything, it's all about that dollar. Because
And then you got to realize too, Tell, some of these mid majors don't even have those other sports.
no, absolutely.
They don't even have.
But what I'm saying, if I'm the MAC and I got 10 schools in the MAC, I'm saying if I'm the president in the MAC, I'm quicker to want to be part of the Big Ten. If I'm an upper echelon MAC school, I want to be part of the Big Ten. I don't want Conference USA to join us. That's splitting revenue. I want to be part of the Big Ten's revenue. Because how big I just told you, $845.6 million.
Right.
So I get what you're saying.
Guess what all them schools don't say? You can't come in here.
Right, there you go. Exactly.
They don't.
Hey, Reed,
They're not going to let them in.
Exactly. Think about it.
I can't argue with that.
Think about it. I'm going to take it a step further. Think about it, us growing up. I'm going to take it to high school. We ain't even talking about revenue at this point. We're just talking about what it meant. I remember Northern played everybody wanted to be, Pontiac Central was in the Saginaw Valley Conference. Pontiac Northern was down the street from Pontiac Central. But the conference, what the Saginaw Valley Conference meant, playing against all the Great Flint teams, the Saginaw teams, that meant something.
Mm-hmm.
So versus, and it's no shade on Northern, because Northern did their thing. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, everybody wanted to be part of the Saginaw Valley Conference. And what was that conference, Reed, that y'all was part of? The Oakland, whatever.
Activities.
Not activities. It was called something else.
It was Oakland Activities. They was in conference. There's Division One.
That's Clark. That's Clarkston and Lake Orion and all them ones.
There you go. Right. So think about it. Northern being a very good team, very good program. Clarkston being a very good team, very good program. It still was something about if you played in that Saginaw Valley. So and we're not even talking money at this point. We're just strictly talking about the brand and things of that nature. So now you're talking about the collegiate level, you're talking about brands, and you're talking about money. Revenue sharing. Now you're talking about revenue sharing. I'm like Ralph Tresvant. I don't want to share my money five ways. I'm gonna have a little bit more money if I share it five ways. It sounds funny, but it's real though.
Yeah. No, it is.
Yeah, that's just.
I guarantee you, the schools that got in for that. They definitely ain't coming in within a few years and like, I gotta split it another 5 years.
Right.
No, I get it. I get where y'all coming from, and you're right about that. You know what I'm saying? I guess I was more or less thinking of all these different conferences, and I'm also always thinking about the little guy on the totem pole. But like you said, it always come down to
down to money.
The only thing that can kind of solve this a little bit is expand the playoff, maybe to 16 teams, but that's almost, to me, that honestly, I think that might be the fair option, just because it is so many teams. But I'm glad that we have 12 right now. But I think 16 would be sweet, actually.
I'm going to respectfully disagree with 16
And
teams.
I think it'll be the top four. It'll be the top four from each of the power fours. 4, 8,
I
12,
think
16, right?
I personally think that's too much.
It's competing with the NFL.
No, I get it from again. We go back to money. I do get it. I get it from a financial standpoint. But when you're adding 3 to 4 more weeks of football to these kids, to these college kids,
Well, they're getting paid now.
I was about to say you got to look at it differently now.
No.
And I'm just telling you from a personal standpoint.
Everybody ain't getting paid, no, Reed.
If they make the playoff, they
but listen
go ahead.
Listen to me. Listen to me though. They are not considered. Remember, they're not considered amateurs anymore. They're not considered amateurs. They're considered semi-pros.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't care. You're still, quote, what you said, a student athlete, but they finna put this what's the name in to pay these kids for bowl games to get these kids to play in bowl games. Because remember how they skipping bowl games now?
Yeah.
That's the trend, that they not doing that. And they taking this NIL money and all this. So a lot of this stuff now is two things that are happening. When they signing these NIL deals, especially when it's booster related, they're signing that they got to play in the bowl game, one. Mm-hmm. 2, they got another deal with these bowl games, and now they finna get broke off an extra check for playing. Now the top 5 pick and the number 1 quarterback, or the number 1 pick that's coming up that's a quarterback, obviously that's still a pay cut for him, and he probably won't play. But when you had all these other guys that had been not playing the bowl game, you finna see that change. A lot of people now are finna start playing in these games. They getting paid for it now. So you could add more games, but if you add more playoff teams, right, just like they do with the collective bargaining in the field, you got to add more bread, right? You got to give them a little bit more money. You can add it. You can add 16.
It's only 2 more weeks of ball, really.
No,
but
that's
those 2
not
more
if you do 12
playoff ball, right? So those kids don't be like, if we make the playoffs and you told me you giving me $100,000 a game, and you add 2 more, yeah, that's cool. That's another $200,000.
But it goes back, right? So it goes back. So it goes back to everything we saying about money, because again, as a kid, you adding games. And this is a different subject for a different day, because we ain't even got enough time for this, and I don't even really want. I don't have enough time tonight to talk about it. But with the whole NIL thing, I agree, because it's like, if you're going to add 3 to 4 weeks of football for in this 12 game, they said the team is going up to 12. I think they said the first 2 will get a bye, right, Kyrie, something like that. The first 2, top 2 gets a bye, something like that.
They got to get the first 2 a bye.
Yeah. So that means that the 1 and 2 max they would play is 3 games. 3 more games. Anybody else could play up to 4 games. We all know it's money related. Like Kyrie said, now how much y'all willing? They gonna play. Of course they gonna play. But now you talk about more money. I'm just saying, I think the product on the field, I think if you get to adding 3 or 4 more games, I think by championship Monday, it can water down the product.
I don't know, man. I think it's weak. I don't know.
But think of this, Marty. Didn't they add 4 more teams to March Madness? Remember, for our whole life, it was the field of 64.
Yeah.
Right? They added 4 more teams.
It made it more exciting, actually.
At first we thought, like, dang, that's too many teams, man. That's too many games. It was exciting when it was 64, right? We did that. After a few years, we don't even think about it, right? It's just part of the fabric now of being 68 in them 2 play-in games.
Yeah, football a little different though, Reed.
It is, but if you want to make I'm just thinking in all fairness, because you're right, the way it's structured now, and I know we got to go ahead and get this ended, but the way it's structured now is really the power conferences that's going to dominate 80% of the playoff. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta give the mids some air. You know what I mean? I think maybe after a year or two they might go ahead and stretch it out to 16, because you're gonna have that dog mid major you do every year. You know what I'm saying? That can beat somebody that's in the playoff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you kind of
True, but
almost gotta almost do it though.
true. I'm looking at it from a player standpoint. I'm looking at it from a player standpoint.
But who don't want to
Playing
play more college football if you're a college athlete
no, that ain't true. If I'm looking at it from a player standpoint,
and making the
hold on.
playoffs?
That's not true, Dante.
I
You
mean, they're
don't
making
you
the
don't
playoffs.
you don't
Sante, that's not true. Because if you're going to take, you got professionals that's arguing about the 17 game season a week.
I'm talking about that's making the playoffs. If
No,
you make it,
Sante,
okay, let me be quiet. I'll
but
just
what I'm saying is that's still
them college kids don't want no more games on there
right. They
because
don't want
now
no
you're
more.
taking it's like the
Yeah,
thread on the tire. You're taking thread away from
yeah.
they pro
That's where I
kids.
was going with it. That's where I was going with it. It's no, it's you talking trick. There's certain positions that real talk. The more you play this, even all of them, it's less tread on the tire, like Kyrie said. They ain't rushing to say, let's play 3 or 4 more games. So I'm with Kyrie on this. Now, if you want me to play, now you're going to have to pay me even more than what you're paying me. Because me as a student athlete, and there's NIL deals that I can already make money from by just playing the 11, 12 games. You want me to play 3 or 4 more? You got to you got to pay me to play. Kyrie just used a real good example. We grew up, we loved bowl season. We loved college bowl season. Now you got the top people in the game. These people that know they might get drafted. These people knowing I'm making money NIL. And why would I play? Jake Butt got hurt. Jake Butt tight end. I know Kyrie remember. About this had to be what 6, 7
Yeah,
years ago. Jake Butt was going to be the number
yeah.
one tight end coming out. Michigan got hurt in the bowl game, tore up his knee. Still got drafted, but was never the same. Go from maybe late first round to what, ninth, 10th round?
Mm.
So why would you play unless you're paying me? So I understand. I don't like the top players not playing in the bowl game, but I understand it because, like Kyrie said, now you're talking about more tread on the tires. So what is it? What you gonna do for me? I don't know no kid. Kids might love practicing. I don't know no kid to say, let's go play three more full 60-minute running into each other football games. I don't know no kid that want to play 3 more games. I don't know. I don't know it.
Here's what Sante thinking. These kids now don't play for the front of the jersey, man. They playing for the back now. And the back is the one that got your name on.
Mm-hmm.
The front and winning the national championship. And man, I played for Michigan and we won the Natty.
It ain't
That
like
shit
that
may
no more.
only get you some free meals in Ann Arbor.
Right. Hey, Reed, right.
Good point. Good point.
Right.
Everybody not a
So they
Blake
looking
Horn.
at it like, yeah, Blake, all them. Blake can go back to Ann Arbor. Blake out here in LA now.
Right.
You think they care that he was a running back for the national champion Michigan Wolverines? They clap for him and be like, okay, what else can you do, sir?
Yeah.
Right. That works in Michigan and Ann Arbor. So that these kids are now realizing that, right? And they realizing, like, especially now since they're considered quote unquote semi-pros,
Yeah.
right? They got that NFL, NBA, they got that professional mentality, like whatever, because you're making billions on me. At first I couldn't ask you for money because quote unquote it was against NC2A regulations. Now it's not.
Right.
Now it's open free for all. So now they got the professional mentality. Everything that I do that you can make $1 on, you better be sure you don't pay me something.
Yeah.
Right? If you
And think
making 5, giving me 2.
And think about what Kyrie just said. These are young people. We talking about collegiate that basically now, like say, semi-pros. Think about it. You got the pros using college as an example. You have they done went from all our life, it was 16 games. It was 4 preseason, 16. It was 4 preseason, 16 regular season.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to add a 17th. The players in the union was like, we ain't playing 17 games unless you take one of the preseason games away. You're not going to add, you're not going to make me play another game without the revenue. So now they're talking about going up to 18.
Oh,
It's
wow.
still going to be the same amount of games.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be,
Less
if they go to 18, they're talking about two preseason games.
Right.
Who do you know wants to play more freaking football? No.
I guess I'm just talking about Madden football at this point. I think that's where my head at. I don't know.
Hey, Kyrie. Sante talking about folks just want to put their pass on and just start playing there.
Right. Hey, and people that's watching on because like I said, guys, this is on YouTube, Twitter, and it's on Facebook. It's also on LinkedIn. But folks, Martell and then we're gonna be ending up right quick. But Martell and Kyrie probably soon, hopefully, might be they might be they might got something in the bag for you guys.
This is a good start. I like this. This is a good start. This kind of, hey, Reed, this
y'all won't even see me on the screen.
We was talking about, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, I'm throwing a monkey wrench in it because I really don't know nothing, but y'all, I get y'all together.
Oh no, hey Sante, you easy could be Molly Karam now.
I don't need to be. Hey, nah, come on, nah.
No,
why Molly?
I ain't calling you no woman.
Golly, what, Molly? I can't be Skip. Come on, Skip.
No, Skip be doing the debating though. That's what I'm saying.
No. No, he didn't. Golly, I can't be Bernie Smilovich. Hey, come on, bro.
You get what I'm saying, man. I wasn't calling you.
I don't know. That's like calling me Angela Yee. You know what I'm saying? Like, but. Hey, no, but you got if you get Martell and Kyrie coming, you guys won't see me. I just be in the back scenes doing the illustrations like you see on the on the screen right now with all the the fancy stuff. But hopefully they be coming soon.
Hey, let me say one thing honestly. I gotta go too. But let me say one thing before we get off. It's one sport that I just want to mention. Right, I'm just gonna make a comment. Mm-hmm. I ain't gonna ask no question. And I've been telling people this for a long time. And, and again, I'm liking this because really, what a lot of people don't know is Kyrie and I, we've been doing this for 20 years. You know what I'm saying and whatnot. And again, it don't make us no expertise up by far. We debate, we agree. Sometimes we don't agree. It's good, respectful, banter and things of that nature. But I'm going to tell you, and I just told some people this the other day. I told a group chat man the other day. If you're not paying attention to the WNBA, you need to start watching. Because let me tell you, the WNBA has a great product. They do. They have a great product. I remember watching the first game they ever played on NBC, the Liberty versus the Sparks. And they was talking about, Rebecca Lobo with the Liberty, Lisa Leslie with the Sparks. You got to multiply this by 100 now. Real talk. These young ladies, they're more athletic. These ladies are balling for real. And then you add I love the whole Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese thing. People making it seem like I love it because guess what? Everything that's going on in this league right now is good for that league. When have you ever seen sports shows lead with the WNBA? Mm-hmm. They leading with the WNBA, and I'm not talking on just slow sport days. Sometimes it's good for the league. The product is good. That's all I'm gonna say. I got WNBA league pass.
Hey,
no, for real.
That's another topic that we can get on, and I'm glad that you mentioned that because we could go on and then end up staying on another hour.
Well,
I like it too, but I'm the opposite. They're dropping the ball. They're dropping the ball.
Well, let me go ahead and since you guys brought that up, we're gonna go ahead and get ready to get out of here. But I want to go ahead and we're gonna spin the wheel real quickly. Right now, Kyrie, you can't see it, but if you guys want to go ahead and do the show, let's go ahead and spin the wheel and let's see what your discount gonna be.
Who's spinning the wheels out there? I see it spinning. Who spinning?
I spent it. I got the button. So let's see what it goes.
5% off what?
5% off your episode. Hey, hey, no, you had five. You had a 5%, a 10%, 25%, 50% discount. So, so whenever y'all first episode is, y'all get 5%.
No, hey, so
Okay.
There we go. You know what I'm saying?
so let me ask you this right. Let me ask you this right quick.
I'm just messing with you. What's going
No,
on, bro?
no, for real.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this right quick.
Mm.
Kyrie, when would you be good to get back on? Because I really want to tackle that WNBA subject because I kind of feel like I know where you're gonna go with it.
Oh yeah, I'm open. Let me know.
Okay. Okay.
So just let me know, guys. Let me know, and you know, like I said, we can set up your pages. You know, as far as your YouTube, however, what it is that you guys want to go to. We'll talk offline or whatever. But your show, Kyrie, I know you weren't able to really see, but you know, today we kind of had it where when your subject matter came up, it kind of came up like how they do on ESPN a little bit. You know what I mean? I didn't go too far in, but it can be just like that. You know what I'm saying? So, but when you guys talking about whatever you're
Actually,
talking about,
what
stuff come up.
had it out on Facebook. That's dope. I love the graphics and all that. That's dope, man.
But that's how it look. You know what I mean? So if I know what your topics are, those clips will come up. You know, we gotta make sure we get you on a computer or something. You know what I'm saying? Or make sure the phone is working correctly. But other than that, man, I handle all the back scenes. You know what I'm saying? The graphics gonna be off the hook, and it'll bring your viewership in. So
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. So yeah, we'll talk offline. Definitely with it.
All right, fellas.
We Mr. Traveling Man, that man is
Don't do
less
me like that.
squalor than El Segundo.
Hey man. Hey,
He
look.
be
But
on
guess
the
what?
road.
Hey, look. I can do the podcast from anywhere though. So it don't matter. Hey, look. You might look up. I might be in LA. We might be able to do it. We might be able to do it right next to each other.
Hey, you know what? That's a plan, man. Let's do that.
Yeah. So, all right. I'm gonna get with y'all, man. I gotta get up out of here.
all right, Marty Mart. All right, Kyrie, we get together, baby.
Hey, good job, fellas.
Oh,
All
thank
right.
you, bro. Thanks
Love.
for calling in. Peace.
Yeah. All right.
All right, everybody. All right, everybody. That's what it was tonight. We basically done did 2 hours. Thank you for joining. Thanks for whoever watched on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. You know, it is what it is. But today we had a couple of, topics, and we agree to disagree on a lot of stuff, but that's okay. You know what I mean? A lot of times, even though we don't agree on everything, don't mean that we can't be cool at the end of the day. We all just got differences of opinion. Like we had a little bit difference of opinion on the political side, and that's okay. That's okay. Don't mean that we can't be cool. And we had a little disagreement also on the sports side, and that's okay. Don't mean that we can't be cool. I think a lot of times, sometimes people don't know how to disagree and not feel that respect the disagreement. You know what I mean? So, and that's all it is. That's all it is. That's all it is. So we had a good time tonight. It's a good Friday night. I don't do much. This is what I do, but this is how the new platform is going to be looking for the Pontiac DM.3 WYAC. Link in with us on Tuesday at 7:30. Me, Amy Muhammad, and James Gay. We will be talking a little bit more about what's going on around in the city of Pontiac. There's new elections coming up real soon. So we're gonna be talking about that and things that things that influence what happens with you all in the Pontiac metro area. We plan to have guests, and we plan to continue to keep the ball rolling and just have fun and just talk. You know what I mean? Just talk, and just trying to make it where it's a central location where people could come in. We're gonna continue to go ahead and bring people in over the phone lines, and also if you feel like it, you can come in. I give you the link, and you can come in because it's a community. It's I try to just have it fun, and like I say, we can disagree, and it's all good. We can disagree, but maybe we can learn something in our disagreement and see something a different way. Like I talked to Martell earlier, and we was talking about the the debate and how we felt about it in each play. And you know what, I got some understanding from where Martell was coming from because I had open ears. And I said, you know what, maybe he right about that. You know what I mean? And hopefully it was the same way. And even if it wasn't, it's okay. You know, give each other a chance to speak, and we go from there. We have fun like that. So with that being said, y'all, it's your boy Sante. We gonna do it, and we gonna do it better than any and everybody does. You know what I'm saying? Everything I put my hands to, I believe it will prosper, especially with consistency put into it. And let me get some theme music coming out of here. And we out. After that. Okay. And so I will see you guys probably over the weekend also one more time. But then make sure to see us on Tuesday nights at 7:30 to, what did we say? I think we said 7:30 to 9 o'clock. That's an hour and a half. We're going to have some good conversation. We're going to have fun. And make sure to link in with us. Keep God first, family second, and you third. And in that order, you should never be made last, because the last, as far as I know, is always made first. Peace and one love. You know what, Kia? I will listen to it, and actually I would like to play it, you know, maybe coming up this weekend. A lot of people have copyright music and have problems with it, but if it ain't copywritten, I'll probably go ahead and play it this weekend coming up. All right, love you. I'll probably give you a call.